there, see me and you. You look on there, see some videos, and it's just the actor bros trying to touch their toes. I should have rhymed actor bros with videos. Here we go, podcast.
Welcome to Unorganized Thought, the podcast where
We're still quarantined.
we're still quarantined, we're still here, and
The world is still over.
we're kind of lazy with it. It's like back to Christmas times where it kind of feels like a weird vacation, and so
Well,
we're
it's
kind of
hard
lazy.
because it's hard to have the motivation to do it when none of the guys can come.
Yeah.
You know, like we can't have our guests and we feed off their energy, literally.
Like social
yeah,
vampires.
there's a reason Liam hasn't been back
He's still recovering.
from the 2-hour energy session. We took his steam.
Ooh, that's
It's a
a
shout out.
reference
It's a
and a
double
half.
reference.
But anyways,
No
We're-
one will get it though.
we're-
Actually, that's our most viewed video. Still,
yeah. But all those people never came back, so nobody's gonna get it.
everyone watched 2 seconds of it.
Yeah. We should post on Instagram more as well.
Yeah.
Because we tend to get a few more when we do that, and we've just been forgetting, and we're
Well, it's
kind of
also hard
neglecting the
because
page.
then I have to
It's
make
just hard to
another thing
remember.
for Instagram.
We'll
and
just post a thumbnail.
send
Whatever.
it to my phone.
It's really not that hard. Today we think we're just gonna do another Clone Wars one because now half this season is done at this point.
And Clone Wars is a weekly thing. It's
Yeah.
Not much else is coming out right now. We were gonna do Birds of Prey, but then we couldn't.
We couldn't
watch
find it.
Yeah. So.
We couldn't find it.
So yeah.
um.
But yeah, so Clone Wars comes out weekly.
So it's easy to topic about.
Yeah.
Topic about, eh?
Talk about it.
Talk about a topic about it? Talk about a topic about it? Anyways. Yeah, we're... So yeah, I think our general impression so far of this new season, which was supposed to be a war that was never finished.
The final season.
Finally, you're getting the payoff you deserve. We're not really getting the payoff that we deserve.
Not really getting anything.
Because so far it's been really lackluster. Like it
It just
kinda,
hasn't been anything.
It's been Clone Wars certainly, but it's been the episodes of Clone Wars that you can skip.
Yeah, it's filler.
Nothing essential has happened other than maybe like spoiler alert
Yes.
first. Spoiler alert for the new season and all of Star Wars.
I've never
essentially.
seen Star Wars in my life.
There are people. There
I
are
know,
people.
but why would those people be watching?
Yeah, and they
a
won't be
Clone
here.
Wars?
Okay, all right. But like Echo came back,
Mhm.
but that wasn't a loose end. That was resurrecting
dead.
a character and giving him a less satisfying ending.
Yeah.
Like he goes off with the Bad Batch.
I think that what you just said there, that quote could be maybe put onto this entire season.
What was my quote?
Resurrecting it and giving it a less satisfying ending.
Yeah, well, honestly,
Well, that's something that goes to Star Wars a couple times, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's true. Well, we're back.
What a momentum killer.
Yeah,
We're
we
finally getting
were
going.
finally getting rolling, and then our phones gave us an emergency alert
That
for.
everyone knew already. Wow, don't go outside.
Yeah, we haven't been outside in
I haven't seen
a
the
fortnight.
sun. No,
Yeah.
I don't even remember what you're saying.
You're saying resurrecting characters with a less satisfying ending, and so
That's
like,
Star Wars is
Star Wars in a nutshell.
That's Star Wars in a nutshell nowadays.
And so the ending we got originally,
It wasn't really an ending,
really great. It wasn't an ending.
but it
and
was just
so-
like
And like it was definitely the ending of a show that got canceled before its
Yes.
ending.
yeah.
And so this show really needed to just every episode needed to be like, remember this guy, tying that one up. We didn't get to explore this. You wondered about this. Let's do this. Nobody was wondering what happened to Echo. Echo was dead.
Echo was dead.
There were no hints
No one was
that I'm
wondering-
aware of that he was alive.
No.
There were no like, they didn't hint at Clone Force 99 at
no.
any point. You know,
I never
like
was wondering what happens
these are-
to the defect clones.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as I'm concerned, they were janitors like 99.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it's a cool idea,
But
but there are other things we need to be exploring at this point.
And-
like something that we mentioned on the other podcast that I would have loved to see was the death of Cad Bane.
Yeah.
This character who's been there. Was he in the movie?
I believe.
I think he
so.
was in it from the very start of this run. If not, he
If
was
not,
in
he
one
was
of the
in
very
one of the
first episodes.
Yeah.
And so this character who's been in this the whole time, who just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, you never see again.
You never see him again. Like,
And
there was this
hopefully,
deleted scene.
Maybe we'll get that still. I would
there-
hope.
They're half the season is done. The rest of it has to be focused on Mandalore. Otherwise,
I think there's one more. Well, there is for sure after watching this
yeah,
episode.
there's gonna be
one
one more
in this
Ahsoka
stupid
catch up
arc.
episode. And like that's the other thing is that if showing us what Ahsoka was doing this whole time were awesome arcs and really important stuff to her character, cool. But they're not doing anything that we haven't seen before. She's adjusting to life as not being a Jedi, but do something interesting with it at the same time. Like,
And
so
it's-
far 2 episodes have been wasted to Ahsoka, struggling with the idea of good and bad and criminality, which she has done before. Like, she spent time in the Coruscant underground before,
And in jail.
Yeah.
Like,
It really seems like they should be, really knocking it out of the park on each episode to be doing what they promised, and they're not doing that,
yeah, like it really, really going into this season, they really hyped it up.
Yeah.
To be this great finale. The war that was never finished. This is what you always wanted, and especially when you're marketing it that way. You know that the audience that you're marketing is an older audience.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's a kids show, whatever. But the people that grew up watching that were the people that you were advertising to.
Yeah, exactly.
And so why are we getting these Jar Jar adventures? Not literally this yet, at least. But these figurative, just droid Jar Jar adventures that are just crap.
Yeah.
When, like, give me something good. I don't care about the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense. Why would the defect ones be better
Well,
than the actual
that's
ones?
what they said, is just that they were with desirable anomalies. And so those are ones that accidentally were way better.
That's stupid. Why
And
not
then if
make
that's the
all of
case,
them
just
accidentally
like,
better?
but I think that maybe they were like anomalies and could not be replicated. But it's a cloning facility. Like, if one guy has expert aim forever, copy that one and do that for everyone.
It's clearly a defect in clones and stormtroopers. Like,
That gene was destroyed after that guy.
Yeah.
He used up all of it.
well, and the other thing is, like, you introduce those guys, the Bad Batch. They didn't specify that their Order 66 chips were malfunctioned, or they didn't say that
And
the Techno Union took out Echoes.
And
like,
there was no point to this Echo adventure.
No.
Echo didn't do anything that set Rex over the line into taking his chip. Rex still doesn't know about the chips as far as we know.
yeah.
And so I thought for sure that that's why they brought Echo back. I said in the last podcast, I have faith that the things that they're doing now, like, they're doing it for a reason. They're bringing up
Remember
these
last
dead
time we
characters.
thought that about a show?
They're resurrecting these dead characters
Same feeling.
in order to tie up other
Yeah.
loose ends, because there was no reason to bring back
There
Echo.
wasn't.
So if you really want to do that, make sure it ties in, and it didn't.
No.
The show Kieran is referring to is Game of Thrones. The last season was undesirably short. Within halfway in, we were extremely disappointed.
Same.
And like the they were focusing on things that nobody cared about instead of tying up the loose ends that they had to be. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's there's a lot
it's
of parallels
an
to that,
eerie
and so
comparison.
it's hard not to be extremely skeptical.
Yeah.
Like, fool me once, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we, even during Game of Thrones, it was like, I don't think that they can pull it off, and we held on till the end, just going, well, if they even do
Yeah.
this little thing, I will be like I will
If Tyrion and Jon challenge a trial by combat, at least we'll have that.
give me one
Give us
fight.
one fight.
Give me one fight.
Have Jon do one thing.
One thing.
One
Like, my
single
favorite
thing.
character. Just one thing.
Yeah. And so, you know, we're kind of broken at this point.
Yeah.
You know, in regards to TV shows going the way that they will, and even just with Star Wars going the way it has.
It's hard to be faithful.
It's hard to be like unskeptical when a Star Wars thing is going the way of Game of Thrones. Like, those are two things that have severely wronged us.
Yeah, it feels. I
You
think
know,
I
like-
said this on a previous podcast or something, but it feels like it almost feels like we're back in that horrible era from like 2017 to 2018 or 2019 or whatever, when just movies were just bad.
Yeah.
You know, just everything was just bad.
Yeah, and I'm sure there
And
are
there was-
exceptions
there was
to
good
that,
things
but
that came out
it
that
just
time,
seemed like
but
there
it
was
just-
an astounding amount of
Yeah,
disappointment.
it just seemed like every time I got excited about something, it just went wrong.
Yeah.
You know? Oh man, new wizarding movies?
Oh.
Oh man, new Star Wars? Oh man, new season of Game of Thrones? We're making a lot of enemies right now.
Yeah.
But
Oh man.
if you've watched our videos, you know we don't like those things.
Yeah.
So whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I had somewhere I was going, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just a conversation that I had that we can use as a talking point until you find your other point is just that, and it's a relevant rumor. I was talking to Lisa about how Rosario Dawson
Yeah.
is allegedly going to appear as Ahsoka
Yeah.
in The Mandalorian, and so. You're showing off your shirt. I was like, what? Just flexing for the camera. Yeah, there you go. And initially, my reaction was like kind of just not super pleased.
Why?
We figured out the timeline, and she'd be almost exactly 50. Like, she'll be
I
in
thought
her
you said
50s.
40.
Well, so at Return of the Jedi, she was 50,
Yeah.
and so
She was 50. I thought you said 40.
she's 50 during Return of the Jedi.
You've changed this.
I did all the calculations because Rosario Dawson is exactly 50 years
40,
old.
you said.
Is it 40?
Yes, you're scaling it up.
Am I
Both of them
mixing
were 40,
things up?
yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just double check.
Both of them were 40. There's no way, because at max, let's just say generously that she's 25 during the Clone Wars. By the time the Clone Wars ended, if she's 25, there's 19 years until A New Hope. So then she's 45. And then
40. Okay, sorry. Yeah, she's 40 at the end of Return of the Jedi, and so Mando is like a year or a few years after Return of the Jedi, and so she's in her 40s.
Yeah.
And
They're
Rosario
around the
Dawson's
same
40, yeah.
age.
And so
That's what
like
you're
the
getting
age works out, but yeah, it was confusing because the wiki says like Ahsoka Tano born, it was like 37 before Battle of Yavin, and then died whatever here on Mortis, and I was like,
That's odd.
okay, hold on, what? And so we like figured it out, and apparently they were referring to when she died on Mortis, and the sister brought her back.
Yeah.
I think that that's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know
Because
why you'd include that.
Unless a character stays dead, they haven't died yet. Otherwise, you'll need to put died again. You know.
You could do that though.
I just think it's very confusing.
It is, especially, but they
Because
don't have
she's
a
still
death date.
alive
Yeah.
canonically.
Yes.
You know, and so it's just very confusing.
I mean, I don't know. That's how you would specify Jon Snow. You know,
I guess,
if you were to
but
die again, you'd
he's
say because he was dead.
it's true, but they didn't even put resurrected on it. It was just
that
like
is just
she's dead
confusing
here,
for
and it
me.
was just very confusing.
Yeah.
But anyways, so since she was born, and I'm doing my best to remember, 37 before Battle of Yavin. She was around 37, like
so she's
around
right
the
about
times of
40 at the
Rebels,
end, yeah.
and so after it's about 4 years, the run of of the original trilogy.
Mhm.
Maybe it was 36, and so she's
41.
she's in her 40s
Yeah.
at the time of Mando. And so like the age checks out, and like Rosario Dawson is a like she's good. She's cool. But they just keep bringing Ahsoka back.
Yeah,
That's the
one
thing. Like in,
But,
in Clone Wars, she was there and then she left and it was never finished. Whatever. They brought her back in Rebels,
which was good.
She died in Rebels. They brought her back again using time travel.
Yeah, that no.
Yes, yes,
Well,
yes.
Was it the time travel's fault? Because you do see her at the end of that episode. Would she have survived anyways?
Well, so that was just like, yes, it's a clean loop, but it's a time travel loop nonetheless.
Yeah.
Because future Ezra is the one who saved her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I don't really like that. And what I was saying to Lisa,
the lengths that Filoni will go
to keep Ahsoka alive. What I had said is that, like, that fight with Vader, like, maybe it wasn't as emotionally charged or as lengthy as I might have liked. Like, I might have liked to watch that fight go down, or for there to have been maybe a little bit of more remorse on her side, because she was just kind of like, you suck, and she did get somewhat emotional when she like chopped his head or whatever.
Yeah.
But initially she was just kind of like, you're not my master, prepare to die. And it was like, ah. That's kind of how it went down.
I don't know.
And like, whatever, that makes sense, but like, I might have liked to see a lengthier fight. That seems to be the problem with showdowns in Rebels, is that they're not long enough. But like, it seemed like that was a good place for her to end, because throughout Rebels, her connection was not to Ezra but to Vader.
Yeah. And
to her sort of running from her past / having to face her former master and cope with the fact that he's a evil murdering tyrant now.
Yeah.
And so for them to have like changed their minds on that, retconned her,
especially right at the end,
using time travel, and now that Vader is gone, like, we knew she wasn't going to kill him.
Yeah.
And so that was never where her arc should end. So it seemed like a natural-ish place to end it would be to have her sacrifice herself and be killed by Vader.
Yeah.
Just to kind of cement his evilness.
Especially
and she's not going to redeem him either, like, they can't do that.
Right after that they say, well, Kanan was sacrificing himself in the moment that he was needed most.
Yeah.
And so now we can't take him out of that moment.
Yeah.
So why wasn't that the same for Ahsoka?
It was all very awful convenient.
It was very convenient. But at the same time, we kind of knew that she was like one of two Jedi Masters kicking around after Return of the Jedi. So we kind of knew that Mando is going to either her or Luke Skywalker. And since it's probably going to be more expensive to de-age Mark Hamill than to dress up Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, they'll probably go for that.
And
as much as I think they should just go for it. Ask the Marvel guys how to de-age. Get Mark Hamill on set. Give me some good Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah. And, like,
maybe she'll be with Luke. That would be awesome.
Yeah, like, maybe she's helping him a bit.
Yeah.
I would prefer her to be separate, because then that just leads to the fact that now she is on the run from a Broken Order again, or was killed by Kylo Ren.
Yeah, it's also kind of
adds that thing. It's just creating this cyclical Ahsoka trope of, she got away again,
because it rhymes.
What rhymes?
That's the thing about Star Wars. They always say is like,
because Star Wars
it's
rhymes.
Poetry. It rhymes.
Star Wars is like poetry. It rhymes. But it seems like you're not going to get a more meaningful ending than Ahsoka versus Vader.
No.
And so to keep bringing her back, she's pretty much just gonna the best ending they can achieve at this point is if she does take Baby Yoda under her wing and then just skedaddle.
Leave, yeah. And not
because
go to
there's
Luke
no death
for some reason.
No death with her is going to like it's just going to be an even less satisfying death, and then they'll just bring her back again.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't. But then like, it's no. At this point, you're gonna have to spin it very well for it not to go certain ways. You know, because like why after Vader's dead, why wouldn't she go hang out with Luke, or or maybe she just like, I'm a great Jedi all the way, all day.
Yeah, like I mean,
you know?
she probably just still doesn't really believe. Like maybe
Especially
like,
if
this
she,
is the relationship I want her to have with Luke. I want her to interact with him, and he'll always be like, "Hey, there's a seat for you here on the new Jedi Council," and she'll be like, "Nah, man, I'm a free agent.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to those old Jedi texts, bro. Like." We're friends, we're allies, and we'll fight together.
It would be interesting to see them.
I'm not.
You'd think
I'm not part of this order.
One, after she heard Vader got defeated, she'd go check out what's going on.
And
two,
and that's Anakin's son.
Two, it's Anakin's son. You'd think that she would go and like feel some responsibility to see this guy. You know.
And like I see her as the cool auntie.
Yeah.
To Luke. Where he like looks up to her and is an ally to her, and but like, they're not necessarily on the same page.
It could be an interesting thing, like Luke going through his stuff, trying to teach Jedi, and like almost going to her for like advice. You know? Just kind of like, I never done this before, you know, like because he would go to Ben and Obi-Wan and Yoda for that. But if he had a living Jedi there, that was around during the first one. You'd think that he'd be able to ask her for things, and I keep having ideas and then immediately forgetting them.
I like the idea of a live action Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But I just like at some point, like it's just the classic movie / show phenomenon where you keep bringing it back until it means nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what keeps happening now to Steven Universe. They just keep bringing it back and they're like, it's over. Wait, it's not over. It's over. It's not over. You know, like that's it's very similar, you know? Like it ended, it was kind of unsatisfying, so they did a musical. The music was even less satisfying, so they're doing another season, you know? Like Ahsoka was killed by Vader. I don't quite like that. Now she was saved by time travel, and now she's and at this point she's supposed to be Ezra hunting with Sabine as well.
No, you know? that's what I was gonna say. Is that Rebels kind of introduced this thing that I'm not a huge fan of. I'm okay with it, like it's whatever, because it makes sense because they never really said that this is the way in the original trilogy. But like, there's just too many Jedi post 66 now, you know, like, Ahsoka lived, Kanan's alive, and now Ezra's here. There's so many Jedi running around during the original trilogy that it almost takes away from the specialness of Luke, you know.
Yeah, where it's like a little bit,
where because like you watch only like even the prequels and the original trilogy, it's like the only people that are alive are Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Yoda.
Well, I always thought that there were stragglers, and you know, like
there obviously were stragglers, but it just they keep bringing them up, and even I haven't played it yet, but Fallen Order is just like there's another guy, he lived.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I like the idea of there being just like they're scattered across the universe, you know, like they're these disbanded and broken, like they're like the blades, you know. It's cool. Mm-hmm. Like the blades were destroyed in Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing too, though, is not only they survived 66, but they survived Vader now hunting everyone with Inquisitors. Like,
Inquisitors have never made sense to me.
No.
The rule of 2, which Darth Sidious is like so strict about. Then there's just like 7 Inquisitors, maybe more.
Yeah,
because the highest number that we had was the 7th sister or 7th son. I don't remember which one was the 7th.
13.
And so like, there's at least 7 of them.
At least on either side, probably, boys and girls. 14
You think there's 7 sisters and 7 sons? I think that it's just like
brothers and sisters.
first son, second
Okay,
sister,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're not all related.
I know.
That's just their order.
I know.
And so, like, for them to carry red lightsabers and use the Force and work for the Emperor, he's just like,
It also-
always 2 there must be. You 17 guys, you're all my assassins.
Yeah.
Remember,
Well, they were Vaders.
remember
They were
the
Vaders,
idea
not the
of
Emperors.
assassins?
Yeah.
How Dooku
They-
got around having Ventress around? You could have 17
Yeah,
assassins.
no, but
Like,
they were Vaders.
yeah.
But it also almost takes away from Vader, because it's like he will kill anyone and he wants to kill everyone. So now he's just like, I want to just sit in my ice cream cone today. You guys go find some Jedi. You know?
Yeah.
And then I'll only come out when it's a problem. Oh, this Ezra and Kanan guy are running around. That's another thing. What I wanted to see Kanan in Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
And I thought that people were like, I think I saw him in the trailer. And but now I haven't seen anything. Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
There's been nothing.
Do you know what planet he was on with his master? It wasn't Mandalore.
It wasn't Mandalore.
Okay, well maybe we'll have a new
Well-
and updated Order 66 Jedi death montage.
I want it. Give it to me.
I don't want it, but I
don't
want it.
expect it at this point because they were hyping like it goes back to Clone Wars was being so hyped beforehand.
This is what
It's gonna cross over with Revenge of the Sith. We're gonna see Order 66. But then you stop and think about it, where did that come from? I think somebody just made that up. Have you thought about that? We don't know where that rumor came from.
Yeah,
No one knows where that rumor came from. That might not be true. That's the thing that I was most excited about, and maybe it's not even true.
Yeah, I
How
don't know.
disappointing would that be?
I really don't know. Also, in this latest episode, Ahsoka was leaving Coruscant and Anakin was on a cruiser. It's a Star Destroyer. They were on the pre-Empire Star Destroyers, and that Yularen guy was like, I was about to arrest these delinquents.
Yeah.
And Anakin was like, no, let it go, because he could sense that it was a friendly presence or whatever. And it's like, wait, well, hold on. Whoa, wait. Anakin is on that other planet that, like, with the hangar and the cats, you see it in Rebels as well. He's on that other planet where he was. And he was on the long distance
Outer Rim
phone call.
Sieges.
He's in the Outer Rim Sieges, and that's why he had that long distance phone call with Padme, because he's like, oh, these are taking a long time. I haven't seen you in so long.
And the first time we see
in Revenge
them
of the
meet-
Sith, she's like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long, dude.
Yeah, and he's
So,
like,
are you
those
telling
Outer
me
Rim
that a
Sieges."
week before Order 66, he went back to Coruscant, didn't visit his wife, and then went back then onto Mandalore? Like,
And so
I'm
the only
thinking that
thing-
maybe
yeah.
this Ahsoka stuff is set before.
Because Clone Wars, for whatever reason, likes
It's
to
so
just go
bad
out of
just
order.
jumping around
Just-
on the timeline.
I've
Why
never
didn't they
liked
start
that.
with the Ahsoka stuff?
They should have. That would have gotten people more hooked. And then you go, oh, this is filler stuff, but it's Ahsoka and it's new and that's
And,
okay.
like,
Since it's the
and
first
it's
3
the
episodes.
beginning, yeah.
You know? And then just get rid of Bad Batch altogether.
Because I wasn't expecting to see what Ahsoka was doing, honestly.
No.
I thought she was just...
I thought she was just gonna show up
you
on
see that
Mandalore.
trailer where it's like, oh, General, there's someone here to see you.
Yeah.
And she's there
She's
with
on the hologram
Bo-Katan.
with Bo-Katan. So, and Anakin's he's at
He's
that
still
planet
at that
still.
base. And so it must be before.
It has to
It
be
has to be
before.
set before. And so I expected this season to feel a lot more kind of Revenge of the Sith, where the Jedi are all kind of talking to each other and, you know, they're all planning this defense of Mandalore. You know, like,
Yeah.
they're all kind of, like, it's Anakin and Obi-Wan doing their stuff.
Obi-Wan's
And
had
then
like
they-
3 lines.
And then
this
they
season.
interact with Ahsoka, and then they have to leave.
Yeah.
And then it focuses on Ahsoka, and you know where those guys are going. You know, like they're saying, "Oh, we have to go save the Chancellor," and then we
Yeah.
see Revenge of the Sith from Ahsoka's perspective.
point of view, yeah.
But how do you do that now? Like the next episode, she's not gonna like. She might get to Mandalore, maybe,
Maybe.
I would be surprised if she got to Mandalore
I made the joke
in episode 7.
before the episode today on Disney Plus. You see the banner, the poster for this episode. Ahsoka's standing there with her lightsaber behind, in front of.
Also a blue lightsaber. Where'd you get that?
Where do you get those? In front. I think they'll explain that probably.
But then that means she loses those.
She doesn't
finds
have, like...
other red ones and purifies those.
Yeah. It's too much. It's too much. And so the picture has her in front of those two girls that she's hanging out with. And so I jokingly said before the episode, wow, are we going to actually get a lightsaber ignite in this episode? We didn't.
We actually didn't.
I didn't realize that was optimistic to hope that maybe we got a lightsaber in this episode.
And like we're going to Kessel and it's like this doesn't need to tie into Solo. Like of all things, this is not what we need. I'm slowly losing faith, and it's kind of just like, you know,
every episode goes by and it just goes, it's not good.
Yeah. And
it's not worth it.
If I'm honest, I didn't love how Rebels wrapped up. I think Filoni's just not spectacular at endings.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought
honestly though, well, it did. It was as good as an ending to a great show can be, I guess, but at the same time, it felt like a Filoni ending.
Yikes! We're learning something, which is very scary because I've had a lot of faith in him.
This is a skeptical opinion here, not a skeptical opinion. A shifty sort of maybe unpopular opinion that I didn't necessarily love the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I haven't watched Korra yet.
I haven't heard
because it's not on Netflix, but whatever. The end of Last Airbender, it seemed like a tad kind of all over the place. Like they just kind of each went their own ways, kind of did their thing and kind of won, and none of it really meant all that much. Like instead of Aang sort of using his abilities that he's learned along the way, he sort of just went and talked to this guy. Anyways, it just was sort of out of nowhere.
Yeah. Okay.
The key to everything was out of nowhere instead of being a culmination of very good things. Same with Rebels.
Yeah.
Space whales.
I mean, he
and like
before,
he talked to them one other time, and
that was like always like a thing that no one really liked.
The end of Rebels is actually eerily similar to the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like they gather all of their indie friends and they all come together and they all sort of just execute their thing.
I'm starting to lose faith in Filoni.
Well, like he does good things, but he doesn't do good endings. It would seem. I think that's what we've decided here today.
Yeah, that's what we've learned today.
Dave Filoni
is not an endings man.
He's not super great at endings.
So who? Okay, here's what we need. Filoni / Lucas as idea men. Okay, here's my Star Wars super band. Filoni and Lucas as the idea men. Jon Favreau to execute. Taika to end.
Yeah.
Taika can do endings.
Yeah.
Favreau can do endings. Like.
Yeah. Like
I'm starting to
Favreau's writing needs originality, and that's where you get George Lucas and Filoni.
Yeah.
But he's a good director and good at executing. And
Favreau's
he knows
good
and he knows how to make it feel like Star Wars and be satisfying to fans.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The super team really nowadays seems like those guys. The guys that work on Mandalorian. If you're unfamiliar, basically. Yeah. That's the team that worked on Mando season 1.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I don't know how much time we got left. I saw this thing where Rian Johnson was like, "Oh yeah, I want to direct some episodes of Mandalorian," and the internet resounding went, "Keep him away from this, please, please keep him away at all costs. Go back to your hole and think about knives being out."
Go away, Rian Johnson. Speaking of knives being out.
We could do a podcast on that.
Yeah, we managed to watch it without personally paying Rian Johnson a cent of our own money.
I will never do that.
Take that as you will.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much, you know,
It's pretty much on
pretty
par
much exactly
for what you would
with
expect.
what we expected. Like, just
we'll do a different podcast about it.
Anyways,
we don't want to get into it here.
I was
Final thoughts about our Clone Wars episode this week.
Yeah.
I don't really want to get into much more than we are right now, but yeah. What are your final thoughts for this week's?
Final
we really
thoughts-
kind of bounced around everywhere.
Yeah.
So sorry for that, but hopefully it was interesting.
We eventually
conversation.
came to some conclusions.
Yeah.
My final thoughts here are: I don't want any more new stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted new things this season.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted our old characters finishing what they started.
Yeah.
And so that's what I need to start seeing. I don't want you digging up graves. I don't want to
literally.
Yeah. I don't want to see you like filling in blanks that we don't need, you know? Like if this was Ahsoka like doing something very interesting after she left the Jedi Order, that would be awesome. If she was really depressed and needed to find herself and like was going through a really emotional journey, that would be really good to see.
Yeah.
Because like that's
where
probably
she would be.
that's what should be happening right now, but instead she's like
hanging out
she
with
found
junkers.
she found a mechanic's jumpsuit and is being a spice runner.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and it's just it's not
what in Ahsoka's story from any of the multiple mediums we've seen her in ever said that she was a spice runner at one time.
and
Like,
what does this mean to her
Exactly.
character?
What are
What
we
does this
learning?
mean to this season? You know, like things when
Nothing-
you only have 12 episodes to finish everything you started, we can't be seeing this.
No, nothing
Everything needs to be
meaningful has
essential.
happened this season.
Yeah. And so
Nothing
things
meaningful.
need to start being essential.
Yeah.
Or at least good.
Yeah.
Like sure they're
At least
entertaining
interesting.
enough, but it's not what we want to be seeing right now, you know? Like show us some interesting character dynamics, some interesting clone dynamics. Like it was just another
Give us Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Like, there's been no warring, really.
Yeah.
We had a bit of fighting in the Bad Batch, but that was just, like, random montages.
That was just big one-shots of
Big
the
one-shots of the Bad Batch. Oh, I'm the guy from Team Fortress throwing a thing in the air.
I'm
Oh,
the
look at
knife
me.
guy.
I'm the
Stab,
knife guy
stab.
because clones have vibro blades that I can kill people with.
Yeah,
It's just,
I don't know.
I don't
we need to start
this.
doing things that matter.
Yeah.
To finishing
And
this
then
story.
bringing in Mace Windu and Obi-Wan to go and fight 10,000 droids for
And then he
some
was
reason.
like, I will give you droids a choice. And it's like, what?
What are you talking
What are
about?
you talking
You're trying
about?
to give me Mace Windu's character arc in this, but I know who he is. I know how he is. I don't care. Mace Windu doesn't care about droids. Like,
He'll cut a guy's head off
he'll cut a guy's
in
head
front
off.
of his son.
Yeah. And then spit on it and kick it. Like,
Yeah. Anyways, what are your final
Mace,
thoughts?
not only he'll cut a guy's head off in front of his son,
Then
when that
send his son to jail.
Send his son to jail. When that son comes back for revenge, he looks him in the eyes and says, "I'm not sorry for that."
Oh, man.
Like, this
Yeah.
isn't a guy who gives droids chances.
Yeah.
Okay, my final thoughts. Maybe this will be the Instagram post too. My final thoughts for this is my final thoughts for Star Wars right now. Give me Kenobi and let me die.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I
And
want.
even that, now Kathleen Kennedy is interfering her grubby little poop hands,
Listen,
smearing it all over
Kathleen Kennedy, you stay away from Kenobi. You stay the hell away.
Like, Ewan McGregor had said he read the script, he really liked it,
But now he says, "Oh, but we're just trying to make it better." And so
and
stop meddling.
but no.
Stop meddling. That's what happened.
he
That's what
read
happened
it,
in Solo.
said it was good, and then Kathleen Kennedy read it and said, "No."
You know what this
no."
needs? More Canto Bite. Like,
Just leave it alone.
That's what
Let's-
happened in Solo.
Yeah,
Just meddled
They-
and
they-
meddled and meddled. Take
Yeah.
a hint from Sony. It doesn't work.
yeah.
Just
Just let the creatives be creative.
Yeah.
Let them do it, because like the more meddling you do, the worse it's gonna get, because just like Solo, this is a sensitive timeline wise.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful
It's probably
You need to-
exactly
you need
what
to-
happened to Solo.
Yeah.
We've got a good story. We've got interesting creatives working on it. You know what this needs? Darth Maul.
Like, and so, was that on this that we talked about his crime empire?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it was.
Kenobi!
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Anyways,
that's all.
just,
We could talk about it forever.
I don't know, man.
Give
Filoni,
Kenobi to James Mangold.
I don't
He's
know
the
who
guy that did
is.
Logan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Give him Kenobi. That's
Sure.
that. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. I don't know. Filoni, get your stuff together, man.
Work on your endings.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Like, and this isn't even something that needs to have a satisfying ending. It just needs to tie in to Revenge of the Sith. It needs to, like...
At very least...
And here's the thing.
We're never gonna end.
Ahsoka just sort of appeared out of nowhere in Rebels and was just kind of like... She lacked a lot of character in
Look
that
at me,
for me.
Fulcrum.
She lacked a lot of character in that, for me personally. She was just kind of like, hey, I'm not sad or upset about anything. I'm just a calm person, you know?
'Cause I'm a great
I want to
Jedi.
see anger and like regret and sadness, you know? Like that's what we should be seeing in these arcs of hers right now, not I still think the Jedi are pretty good, but I'm a little bit conflicted about that.
Yeah.
Spice running, you know? Like give me substance.
Yeah, I know.
You know, because
It's just nothing.
if you're gonna show us Ahsoka, if you're gonna catch us up on on Ahsoka, show us something that means something.
Yeah.
You know, tie her character over into how she like obtained some semblance of inner peace, because I'm sure there was
Show
a
us
lot of
her
turmoil
journey to
in there.
Grey.
You know, like show us something that matters.
Yeah.
Show her finding red lightsabers, maybe being like, hey, red kind of looks kind of good, but then deciding to purify them,
Yeah.
not any color. You know,
Maybe-
like that's interesting stuff
Yeah.
that we should be seeing instead of spice running with the girls from Borderlands. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
With fake Bangalore.
Yeah, fake Bangalore and Borderlands
Magoo.
girl. Anyways, Filoni,
Figure it out.
figure it out, bud. Please, we want to trust in you, man.
Yeah. You were our go-to guy. We were thinking this guy needs to be in charge of Star Wars, but you're making me question that.
Yeah.
But in every sense, he really is George Lucas's protege.
Well,
now.
I don't know if he's been writing every single one of these though.
No. He's just the creator of Clone Wars.
But why'd you let this go through?
Yeah, why did you let this
I'm
happen?
holding you personally responsible
really.
for everything that is happening here, because if this is your creation, create, boy.
Control it.
You know?
Get it under control.
Get it under control.
And we say that there's nothing you can do at this point. It's done.
It's done. So what you have made better be good.
I hope it's good for your sake. We're
Coming for you, Dave.
It's just another person that we'll have to blacklist. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Goodbye. Yeah. Well, do the things that you can do on this video. Press
Yeah.
the like. Press the
here
comment.
and like here.
Those are
like
videos.
Right here is a subscribe.
And a subscribe. Click on the videos. Watch other stuff. We got more Clone Wars, Star Wars, anything really. We got lots of content, Marvel stuff. Yeah. Give us a like. Share it around if you like this.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want us to do that Knives Out podcast.
Yeah.
We got lots of things to talk about
Yeah.
and ideas coming in down the hole. And so if it comes at any speed, like
Coming in down the hole.
if it comes,
Ideas coming in down that hole.
this is the longest end card ever now.
Yeah.
Because of you. You're making fun of me.
Sorry.
I should be ending it.
Sorry.
But more ideas. So if they come in at any speed like they did with Actar Bros, you're looking at something next year. Nah, I'm joking. A couple months maybe. Goodbye.